Welcome YouTube, this is Acid Roots and I'm back with another review in the form of Hopsin's debut solo album, Gazing at the Moonlight. So, this album went through a difficult evolution process or recording process. He was on the record label Ruthless Records. Now this record label was owned by Eazy-E and is still owned by his family. But, you know, you may notice after I think Bone Thugs left that there really wasn't anyone really backing the label. Now I do not know the whole history of Ruthless, but this is probably the third most noteworthy, or maybe higher than one of the third artist that I have heard from Ruthless Records. So this was 2007, 2008, and I think Hopsin probably, you know, he had some issues with the project and it didn't come out until October of 2009. Now he dropped a single in the first half of 2008, and if you pay attention, that is not an ideal time for an album to come out as a year and a half after you drop your first single. It's definitely not something you want to happen. So this album is not Hopsin's best work, and that's probably a good thing, but I do recommend, if you appreciate Hopsin, to still attempt to go out and get it. So the thing with Hopsin is when I first reviewed him back in 2015, I gave him a lower score than I feel currently, and this is the reason why I have my almost songs, or songs I'm on the fence about, because usually when I continue to listen to music, I wind up liking it more later. So, if I gave Knock Madness like a 3 out of 10 and it offended people, I'd probably give his album about like a 5 now. There's more than 5 songs out of 15 that I like. And this time I tried to come prepared with Gazing at the Moonlight, because I actually did attempt to review this back in June, but I forgot. And so back then I only liked like 3 or 4 songs, but now I like 6 out of 14. So that's a pretty good number. I mean, it's not stupendous, but for a debut that is by someone that we really don't know that well at the time, I think that this is extremely good. Now, obviously, at the point Hopsin's at now, he's got more than enough room to brag and boast, but it's interesting paying attention to those early years when things were not as the same. So that's the what have you. So there were 4 singles dropped from this project. There was a little bit of promotion after the album came out, but I just don't think Ruthless knew how to respond to his reception at the time. So, but, you know, still 4 singles for a debut is pretty good. I just don't know if all of them got videos for them. So, I Am Here is one of the best songs on here. Pans in the Kitchen, that's a good one. Gazing at the Moonlight, I mean, some of these you're really gonna like. Now, the main thing as to why I didn't like this album as much is just because I remember when I was going to review it in June, I did not like some of the things that Hopsin chose to talk about. It just didn't seem like, I think he talks about someone he knows becoming addicted to drugs, and then there's another one about, you know, bad internet relationships. Just different types of topics that fit songs, and it just makes you, it doesn't put like a good feeling in you that you really want to listen to music, and that was the thing. So with that, we're going to get to the idea of the song, the songs that you need to hear. So 6 out of 14, you'll see what I mean. So I'm Here, Super Duper Fly, Break It Down, Motherfucker, Gazing at the Moonlight, and Pans in the Kitchen. Now these, I'm Here is kind of like Hop is Back. That's pretty similar to that. Super Duper Fly is a booming song. I think most people like that one. Motherfucker and Gazing at the Moonlight and Pans in the Kitchen have some horrorcore tastes to them. So I feel like, Hopsin, what he does is he usually does not just make, like singles and kind of outgoing songs the whole way through, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I gave him like a 3 out of 10 last year. But I appreciate things that he talks about more than just having fun, but that's really the main thing. Like Eminem doesn't have a problem with this. I think someone like Ludacris does not have a problem with this, but you'll see what I mean. Just when you listen to the album, you'll know. But so the point that I was really trying to make, more so than just saying that, was the song Break It Down. Usually he does about 3 or 4 kind of outgoing songs, and this is another one that may seem like that should have been the second single versus what he chose. So that's just an extra song to kind of like rip your heart out with Tech 9. Now there's really not any, huge features on here. I'm thinking if Hopsin drops an album in 2017, we'll probably start to get some more of that. Now, the difference between this newer generation that's coming up and the previous generation is the fact that it's difficult seeing if the newer generation wants to mess with the older generation. So as far as seeing like E40 on a song with Hopsin, it remains to be seen. But I'm interested in finding some more folks that I can like besides him, because I am going to start messing with him and his camp. And I've reviewed a lot of his funk volume records. I will probably review some more. So this album is going to get a 4.5 out of 10, because 7 out of 14 would have been half. So 4.5 out of 10. And the social score I will give a 5 out of 10, because there were 4 singles and he has a pretty good internet buzz. So that's the thing. That means social score means how well it plays around your friends. Can this record be topped? Yes, it could have used some better beats and better topics, and yeah, so subscribe for more fun. That's it.